What is up, everyone? My name is Shakeup. We're back again with another video, and today I'm here with my post-WrestleMania Raw and SmackDown reviews for April the 3rd and 4th. And of course, these shows are a lot to talk about as usual when it comes to the Raw and Raws after WrestleMania, and now the SmackDown after WrestleMania. Now that we've got a brand split, we had a lot of big announcements, a lot of big returns, some debuts, all that good stuff that comes on the Raw after WrestleMania and the SmackDown after WrestleMania, I guess now. And also this whole superstar shakeup that was announced as well. I'll be talking about some of my predictions about who I think is going to get drafted from what brand to the other, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that'd be fun to talk about. But we'll start off with Raw this week, and we'll actually go top to bottom this time. So Roman Reigns came out. Oh boy, Roman Reigns, who is now the Antichrist of professional wrestling. I'm not talking about Jeff Hardy's TNA gimmick from like 2010, but like Roman Reigns came out after the crowd chanted for Undertaker for like 2 minutes. He came out and just got destroyed with boos, and he was like, you know, he knew he had the crowd in the palm of his hand. He even said it, and like anytime he'd bring the mic close to his face, you know, the boos would get, you know, really, really loud and all that kind of stuff. So that was really cool to see. And what the thing Roman says was absolutely brilliant. All he says is just, "This is my yard now." Drops the mic, leaves. I'm like, that's all he needs to say. That's all Roman has to do. If Roman just does that for every promo, I'm cool with it. I'll actually start to like him a little more instead of, you know, smiling McLaser tag and suffer and succotash and all. This was much better. Give him something simple to say and just piss off afterwards. If you give Roman promos like that, I really shouldn't have that much of a problem with him, honestly. But yeah, he will probably never be liked by the WWE fans again, especially after beating The Undertaker in his final match, pretty much retiring him. So yeah, I feel bad for Roman. I bet he's loving it deep down inside. He's getting the reaction. He's cool with it. So yeah, Roman Reigns, he's probably the most hated person in wrestling right now. So yeah, good on you, mate. We had the Hardy Boys beat Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson for the Raw Tag Team titles. I think it was for the Raw Tag titles, or maybe it was just a non-title match. Who knows? They got a great reaction from the crowd and all that. So happy to see the Hardy Boys back. You know, I've always loved them for the longest time. To see them finally back home after their incredible run in TNA as the Broken Gimmicks. I'm not sure if they are going to bring the Broken Gimmicks to WWE. It doesn't look like it. It looks like they're just the normal Hardy Boys from back in the day, but it would be really cool if they did bring their Broken Gimmick. Matt's kind of halving it at the moment, because if he'll say obsolete and then just talk normally. It's really weird. Maybe if they sort out something with TNA, they'll be able to do it full on, but we'll have to wait and see for now. Then we get to Neville. He had an open challenge to anyone. I thought, oh, are we going to get a cool little are we going to get a cool debut and all that? But instead we got Mustafa Ali, which is fine enough because these two had a very solid match. Unfortunately, the crowd didn't give a shit because they were more entertained by a beach ball in the crowd. So yeah, well, I guess it's the Raw after Mania. What do you expect? But Neville won that one. Good on him. I liked how he was going to do the red arrow and he just got down. Like, perfect heel work. Good job, Neville. You're one of the best in the Cruiserweight division right now. That is the reason you are Cruiserweight champion. And then we get to arguably the biggest moment of the night. You could say that, or the ending bit. We had Mr. McMahon come out, because why not? Mr. McMahon came out. He was going to announce the new general manager of Raw because Mick Foley got fired a few weeks ago by Stephanie McMahon, and he was going to announce who it was, and then Teddy Long came out, and we thought, oh really, Teddy Long? It was like, yeah, it's alright. And he says, Teddy, it's not you, mate. I'm sorry. He then goes and says, it's Kurt Angle. Crowd explodes. Kurt Angle's the new general manager of Raw, and I could not be happier. We get to see Kurt Angle on WWE television again. Finally. Oh, man. And some of the backstage segments were really cool. There was a bit with Enzo and Cass, and they were doing the whole, you know, my name is Enzo, you know, the thing he does before he heads for a match, and then they say SAWFT soft, and then like Angle goes, that's not how you spell soft. I'm like, I love you, Angle. You're the fucking best. So happy to see you back, and I hope you do great as the general manager of Raw. And then we get the New Day in a match, and they call out anyone to wrestle them, and guess who answers the call? The Revival. Yes, bloody hell, yes. This was awesome. Finally, the Revival are on the main roster. They just had a great triple threat match for the NXT Tag Team titles few nights previous on NXT TakeOver Orlando, and to see them finally on the main roster is a long time coming for them. They ended up beating the New Day and ended up beating them up afterwards, so I'm guessing a match with them in the future at Payback, I think is the next pay-per-view. It's probably in the future for them. Gives New Day something to do and gives the Revival a boost they need. Give them those tag belts. You know what I'd love to see? I'd love to see Gallows and Anderson versus the Revival. How awesome would that match be? One of them turns face, who knows? After that, we had a 6-woman tag team match. It was Bayley, Sasha Banks, and Dana Brooke. Yeah, babyface Dana Brooke, aren't you excited? Versus Charlotte Flair, Nia Jax, and Emma. Yeah, we didn't have to wait 16 weeks this time. We got cool sunglasses Emma out, which is much better than whatever the fuck they were trying to do with Emmalina. The only good thing about those little vignettes was we got to see Emma in a bikini, which I'm always down for. But yeah, cool sunglasses Emma came back, which was great. So the babyfaces win after the match, and Charlotte, I believe, ends up getting very upset of her partners, and Nia Jax ends up taking her out. So Nia Jax face turn? Maybe, maybe not. So I'm guessing a Charlotte Flair versus Nia Jax feud is in the works. And what I'm going to do with Bayley as the Raw Women's Champion, I'm not really sure. She's going to face someone soon. So yeah, that's an interesting little thing there. Then we get to Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman coming out, because Brock Lesnar is your new Universal Champion. I'm not sure if he's going to defend it at Payback or not. We'll just have to wait and see. But Paul Heyman was pretty much calling out Roman Reigns as he is the 2 in 23-2, which is the Undertaker's wrestling streak at WrestleMania, and because Brock Lesnar's the guy that beat Undertaker, Roman Reigns is now the other guy, and they're probably, what I've heard is they're going to have a rematch at WrestleMania 34, which I'm not sure how that's going to go down. We're just going to have to wait and see. Anything can change in a year's time. But as Brock Lesnar was getting bumped and all that, Braun Strowman came out and confronted Brock Lesnar, which I thought was very, very interesting to see. And he was getting really into Brock, and then Brock kind of psyched him out a little bit, and he just left. Well, not really psyched him out, but he just left, which was weird. Braun should be, not giving a shit when he's in front of someone like Brock Lesnar, but he just kind of backed down, which was weird. Maybe trying to keep face or whatever, but I don't know, a bit silly in my opinion. After that, we had a number 1 contenders match for the Raw Tag Team titles. Enzo and Big Cass versus Cesaro and Sheamus. Cesaro and Sheamus ended up winning, so it'll be them versus the Hardy Boys, which I think they'll have a really good match for. And yeah, I can't wait to see it. Then we had Sami Zayn versus Jinder Mahal. Yeah, Jinder Mahal is wrestling Sami Zayn. Since when did fucking Jinder Mahal get a push? You didn't do anything with him the last 4 or 5 months you have him. Now it's like, oh yeah, we have roidy Indian guy, let's give him a push, But at least Jinder Mahal's doing something, I'll give him that. He ended up wrestling Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn won, thankfully, and yeah, good on you, Sami. Not sure who his opponent's going to be at Payback, if he is going to have an opponent, but I hope he has someone good, because Sami Zayn is a very talented wrestler. Then we get to the main event. We get a tag team match between Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens versus originally Seth Rollins and Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho was doing an interview backstage, and he got attacked by Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe, so he couldn't compete, and Kurt Angle went to Seth Rollins, so you got to find another partner. And what partner did he find? Finn bloody Balor returned, and I was over the moon. I was so happy to see Finn Balor back. We haven't seen him since the night after SummerSlam, after he had to relinquish the Universal Championship. So to see him back here is just fantastic. And he's still got it. Well, not that he ever lost it anyway. The baby fences went over, and it was great, man. It was great. So welcome back, Finn. It's awesome to see you, and I hope you can have something cool in the future. Maybe a Universal title run so you can get that championship you earned back. But we'll see what happens there. So that was Raw. Really good show. Very interesting. We saw a lot of returns. Finn Balor, we saw a lot of debuts like the Revival. It was a really, really good show and very fun. And then we moved on to SmackDown, and I'd say they held their own, actually. They did pretty well combating Raw, in my opinion. But we started off the show with Randy Orton, the brand new WWE Champion, and talks about how he beat Bray Wyatt last night and all that, until Bray Wyatt showed up on the Titantron and said to him, "It's not over between you, Randy, and we're going to have a match at Backlash in a House of Horrors match." What a House of Horrors match is, I've got no idea. It should be interesting. But it went black again, and guess who came back? Eric Pissin Rowan came back. After Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton had a scuffle, Eric Rowan came in to help Bray Wyatt, so I guess he's still in cahoots with him. But Luke Harper came out and saved Orton, and so now it is Wyatt and Rowan versus Orton and Harper for tonight's main event. Of course, Luke Harper is no longer associated with the Wyatts. He's now his own man. I mean, he got a new tank top, for Christ's sake. He's buying new clothes, so good for him, cleaning himself up. Then we had a match for the SmackDown Women's Championship, Naomi versus Alexa Bliss, and Naomi won. I'm so happy that she's champion still. Put on a good showing against her, and I'm not sure what's going to happen to Naomi in the Divas division. I'm sure she's going to wrestle someone. Then we had Kurt Hawkins in the ring issuing an open challenge, and who accepted? Ty Dillinger accepted from NXT. That was awesome to see. He had a little one-off appearance at the Royal Rumble, but now he's making an official debut on SmackDown. Super happy to see him on there. Yeah, I reckon he'll fit the brand well. What that is, if he doesn't get drafted to Raw in the Superstar Shakeup or whatever. But yeah, so awesome to see Ty Dillinger finally on the main roster. He was one of the most over people on NXT, and to see him on the main roster was just awesome. Good on you, Ty Dillinger. Welcome to the main roster, buddy. And then we got to a John Cena and Nikki Bella promo, and by that it's just the Miz and Maurice dressed up as them, and it was really weird and really funny. Miz was still doing his "You are breaking Rule 137 of John Cena's House Rules" and acting robotic and all that, and Maurice playing as Nikki kept saying "John" and all that stuff. And he says, "No more Cena," because I know Cena's taking some time off and all that. That is until it goes black and we see a violin player, and I lost my shit, because guess who made his debut? Shinsuke motherfucking Nakamura. Wow. Yes, he is on the main roster after a year in NXT dominating the brand. He is now on SmackDown, and I lost it when I saw it. Shinsuke, he's one of my favorites, man. He was one of my favorites on NXT, and now he's finally on the main roster, and I hope he kills it. He had a great match with Bobby Roode at the previous takeover, and to see him here is just awesome. So I'm guessing Nakamura and The Miz is going to be in the next feud, because I think Cena's out. He's going to be gone for a couple of months or so. He's a bit of a part-timer now, little old Cena. He's joined the part-timer list. But yeah, Miz versus Nakamura should be great. Nakamura, he's just the man. He's just the man. So yeah, so happy to see Nakamura debut. Easily the highlight of SmackDown. And yeah, moving on to the street fight between Baron Corbin and Dean Ambrose, which was announced earlier in the show. And this was a fun match. I enjoyed it. People getting put through tables, hitting each other with chairs, all the good stuff, all the basic stuff. And Baron Corbin ended up winning. So yeah, good on for Baron. AJ Styles actually confronted Shane McMahon to see what was going on, and I thought he was going to attack him, and he ends up shaking his hand out of respect, which was really cool. So I think we've got an AJ Styles face turn, and it looks like I think he's going to go to Raw, which I really don't want him to do. I don't want him to go to Raw. He's done amazingly on SmackDown. He doesn't need the Raw brand. I feel like a lot of people are scared that Raw aren't going to use him well, or they're going to feed him to the big dog, or whatever the fuck. But yeah, we can only have hope, guys. We can only have hope. So yeah, AJ, if you are going to go to Raw, good luck. But yeah, this was a good way to close a chapter with Shane McMahon, and I hope he stays on SmackDown. That was really cool of him, and he's probably turned babyface afterwards. Then we got to Randy Orton and Luke Harper versus Bray Wyatt and Eric Rowan. Randy and Harper picked up the win. I actually didn't see the ending to SmackDown, but yeah, this was the match that ended it, and fine. So, yeah, that was Raw and SmackDown. 2 good shows overall. Go watch them, as they're the shows after WrestleMania. They're always very interesting to see. The crowds are always hype as fuck. Always a bunch of debuts, returns, you name it. Big stuff happening. So, moving on to what I can possibly see in the Superstar Shakeup that takes place next week. Like I said before, AJ Styles to Raw, I'm guessing. And surely a big star has to go to SmackDown. They have to go. Maybe Seth Rollins, he could go. I can see maybe someone like a Kevin Owens. I hope someone like Sami Zayn goes to SmackDown. I think he could do wonders for that brand, and I feel like he can become a big star over there. Who could I see getting drafted to Raw? Maybe The Miz could be a possibility, although I don't want him to because he might be shit there. Dean Ambrose? No, he's Intercontinental Champion, so he probably won't be drafted. Or they could switch him over. Maybe Kevin Owens goes to SmackDown, Dean Ambrose goes to Raw, and have a big switcheroo for the belts. That could be something they can do. Some tag team. I want either the Hardy Boys or Revival to go to SmackDown, because SmackDown needs some tag teams. The Raw tag team division has instantly been boosted thanks to the Hardy Boys and the Revival, so I don't know, give SmackDown like the Hardy Boys or the Revival. Oh, well, actually no, you can't bring the Hardy Boys to the champions, so I don't know, bring them Enzo and Cass or something. You know, that can be good for SmackDown. And give Raw, not the Vaudevillains, because Simon Gotch got released. Yeah, he actually got released this week. The Ascension, I don't know, build them up for Raw. You probably won't, because Raw doesn't know what the fuck to do with talent. Maybe move someone over from some of the women. Who can I see? Maybe Becky Lynch could go to Raw. That's something I'm thinking about. The SmackDown, maybe Sasha Banks is a possibility. Charlotte Flair, you know, there's a whole heap of possibilities I've got. Yeah, so that's a small little predictions I had for the Superstar Shakeup. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like. Comment down below what you thought of Raw and SmackDown this week. And if you want to see more from me, hit that subscribe button. You'll be glad you did. Twitter and Instagram is at JackoManLaw31 if you want to check me out there. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm out in 3, 2, 1.